Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying this. Communication is the lifeblood of every relationship. It is through words, actions, and gestures that we express our needs, our desires, and even our frustrations. But what happens when the communication ceases? What happens when silence steps in? You see, every man is designed by God with a deep need to be understood, respected, and valued. But here's the truth. When you stop talking to a man, you don't just create silence, you create space. And what a man does in that space reveals the depth of his character, the clarity of his vision, and the strength of his purpose. First, today, I want to take you on a journey to uncover the dynamics of silence and its profound impact on the hearts and minds of men. Whether you are a woman trying to understand a man's response or a man reflecting on your own actions, this message is for you. We're not just talking about relationships. We're talking about how men are wired to respond when faced with the void of communication. Let's discover together how silence can either build or break, restore or ruin, strengthen or shatter. The choice lies in what a man does when the talking stops. Communication is the lifeblood of every relationship. It is through words, actions, and gestures that we express our needs, our desires, and even our frustrations. But what happens when communication ceases? What happens when silence steps in? Every man is designed by God with a deep need to be understood, respected, and valued. But here's the truth. When you stop talking to a man, you don't just create silence, you create space. And what a man does in that space reveals the depth of his character, the clarity of his vision, and the strength of his purpose. Silence is not merely the absence of words. It is a powerful force that can stir emotions, provoke thought, and unveil truths that often remain hidden in the noise of daily life. For a man, silence can become a mirror reflecting the state of his heart and mind. Some men may use that silence to reflect, to evaluate, and to grow. Others may find it unsettling, even threatening, as it confronts them with unresolved issues or insecurities. When a woman stops talking to a man, the immediate reaction varies. Some men retreat, withdrawing further into their inner world. They may interpret the silence as rejection or failure and choose to shield themselves from the discomfort it brings. This response often stems from a lack of emotional maturity or self-awareness. Without clear communication, the man may create his own narrative, one often rooted in fear or misunderstanding. For other men, silence becomes a catalyst for introspection. In the absence of words, they are compelled to listen, not just to what isn't being said, but to their own inner thoughts and feelings. This is where true growth begins. A man who embraces silence as an opportunity to understand himself and the dynamics of his relationships demonstrates strength and wisdom. He doesn't run from the void, he seeks to fill it with clarity and purpose. The power of silence lies in its ability to force a man to confront himself. Without the distraction of conversation, he must examine his actions, his priorities, and his intentions. This can be uncomfortable, but it is also profoundly transformative. It is in these quiet moments that a man may discover the areas where he has fallen short and the changes he needs to make. However, silence can also serve as a test. It reveals what a man values most. When communication stops, does he pursue understanding or does he walk away? Does he seek reconciliation or does he allow pride to build walls? These questions are not just about the relationship, but about the man's core principles and character. For many men, silence is a challenge that calls them to action. It is an invitation to step up, to initiate, and to take responsibility. A man who truly values a relationship will not allow silence to persist without seeking resolution. He understands that communication is not just about talking. It's about listening, learning, and connecting on a deeper level. But let us also consider the man who reacts impulsively to silence. He may respond with anger, frustration, or defensiveness, viewing the lack of communication as an attack rather than an opportunity. Such reactions often indicate unresolved insecurities or a lack of emotional resilience. Instead of building bridges, he may create barriers, further widening the gap between himself and the other person. In contrast, a man who approaches silence with humility and patience demonstrates a higher level of emotional intelligence. He doesn't rush to conclusions or make assumptions. Instead, he seeks to understand the reasons behind the silence, recognizing that every pause holds a message. This man values the relationship enough to navigate the discomfort and work towards restoration. Silence is not just a test for the man, but also a reflection of the relationship. It forces both individuals to evaluate their connection and the foundation on which it is built. A strong relationship can withstand periods of silence because it is rooted in trust, respect, and mutual understanding. But a fragile relationship may crumble under the weight of unspoken words and unresolved issues. For a man, silence can be both a burden and a blessing. It is a burden because it forces him to confront his weaknesses, but it is a blessing because it provides an opportunity for growth. How a man handles silence reveals not just his feelings about the relationship, but also his relationship with himself. There is a saying that silence speaks louder than words. In many ways, this is true. Silence can communicate disappointment, hurt, or the need for space. But it can also signify trust, patience, and the desire for deeper connection. A wise man learns to interpret the language of silence, understanding that it is often more profound than words. In every relationship, there will be moments of silence. These moments are inevitable because we are human